Here we have a case in Klickitat County, state of Washington. A zone change application with a 26-lot subdivision is received by the Klickitat County Planning Department on June 12, 2018. The Mountain View Estates Subdivision will create 26 residential lots, ranging in size from 10,500 to 12,500 square feet in Dallesport, Washington. Here is a quote. Completion of the subdivision and approval of final plat would need to be completed within 3 years of the approval of the preliminary plat, with the potential of a 2-year extension. The source is from the SEPA State Environmental Policy Act Environmental Checklist. Applicant William Maley. Contact Person Nick Kraemer, Tenneson Engineering, 541-296-9177, period. The environmental impacts in the water section state, quote, no stormwater runoff will leave the developed property. The stormwater system for the development of this land will be such that post-development off-site runoff will not be allowed to exceed the pre-development condition, period. Stormwater facilities, including ditching along the roadways, berms, infiltration areas, and detention facilities, will be designed and constructed to ensure that post-development runoff flows do not exceed the existing conditions. Excuse me. There is currently no public stormwater system within the Dallesport community that the development can connect to, thereby requiring on-site control. A storm drainage plan for the development will be submitted in accordance with the Washington State Department of Ecology, Eastern Washington Stormwater Manual, for approval prior to the final plat. The drainage plan will be prepared by and certified by a professional engineer registered in the Washington State. The drainage plan shall include existing and proposed drainage patterns within the entire project area. The drainage plan will also include analysis of peak stormwater volumes from the development of the subdivision, period. All drainage improvements will be completed and inspected by the county prior to final plat subdivision, period. So, is this so? Has this happened? Well, let's take a look at the map that was submitted with that. So here we can clearly see the map that was submitted with this 26-lot subdivision by William Maley in 2018. It has 2 new roads and 5th Place connects from 3rd Ave and then ends over on Central Boulevard. And then C Street connects on 3rd Ave and then connects with 5th Place. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lots. This would be on the east side. Well, let's say 7. We'll count that one as a 7. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lots on the north border. And on the west border, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lots on the west border. You have 3 lots in the middle here, and then you have 6 lots in the middle over here. Now, these lots average about 10,000 square feet. So, continuing, the properties purchased by Greg Wallace of 748 53rd Street, Washougal, Washington, 98671, 360-903-8809. G.WALLACE4252@gmail.com. Also listed on the public records is Greg and Lori Wallace, P.O. Box 871152, Vancouver, Washington. The development starts in early 2020. Building the roads and utilities is no small task. The construction stormwater permit issued by the Department of Ecology of the State of Washington and associated documentation confirms the subdivision of 26 lots with an average size of approximately 10,000 square feet. In April 2020, Mr. Wallace with Tenneson Engineering Corporation, attention Darren Ekman, 3775 Crates Way, The Dalles, Oregon, 97058, 541-296-9177. Email deckman@Tenneson, TENNESONENG.com. Submits a new SEPA Environmental Checklist to the Klickitat County Planning Department. Quote, the project consists of a request to amend an existing long subdivision approval, SUB 2018-01, and divide the property into a total of 35 residential lots ranging from 10,000 to 13,051 square feet in size. The subdivision includes privately owned and maintained streets, walking path, and stormwater facilities, all located in a public easement. This is signed and submitted on May 12, 2020 by Greg Wallace, landowner applicant. The county decides in unfinished business. Resolution in the matter of supporting the board's decision to consider an amendment to the preliminary approval of Mountain View Estates Subdivision. Located in the Dallesport vicinity, applicant Greg Wallace as substantial, requiring an application resubmission to increase the lot size from 26 to 35. And he was denied. So now the question is, if you remember in the previous map that was approved for William Maley, which was transferred to the new owner, Greg Wallace, when he purchased the property. On the east border, there were 7 lots. Now, there are 9. On the north border, do you remember how many there were? Well, look at how many there are now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in the center, there are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And on the west border, there are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lots. So how is this possible? Well, if you read this document, which is an engineering document from Tenneson Engineering, and you study it, it changes the lot configuration by making private roads and then squeezing the size of your lot here, which is 77 feet. It used to be 100. So then changing that to extend the length of the lot into the middle of the road. That might not be clear on this image, but that is what has happened. So it is approximately 30 feet from the center line of the road to the new property line where the easement will be. So in reality, the buildable lot is not 10,361 square feet anymore. The buildable lot is this minus the square feet sum of 77 times 30. Here's the 30. Okay? So can this be done? Well, the county says no. If you want to do that, you need to resubmit the whole application, which would mean the SEPA review. Now, this is important to understand because, remember, subdivision of land is regulated by the state of Washington in RCW 58, and it takes into account many variables, one of which being the design of the whole subdivision. So the approved subdivision, originally from William Maley, shows 26 lots. In my next segment, I'll publish tomorrow or the next day, and I'll discuss how Greg Wallace will go to the county commissioners in January of 2021 and request an amendment. And so here he's going to change the lot configuration, and he's going to make 26 lots, and he's going to make private roads, and we'll see what happens then. So stay tuned.